Hi, and welcome to Yin Yoga 50 Plus. This 15-minute fix is especially to help us with our shoulders. If you think about today's life, the screens are getting bigger and flatter and wider. But the result of that is that as we're working, our shoulders get more and more rounded, especially as we get older. You'll see people walking like this with their head down and their shoulders forward. And the whole posture chain is really out of sync. So what can we do about it? So let's have a look at 3 poses or 4 poses we can do that will really help our backs. Remember, with Yin Yoga, there are 3 things. 1, find your edge. How far can we go in that pose? For instance, this pose, and we know we can hold it. Number 2, try and find stillness. If we're in a pose and then we move around, we lose the benefit. And number 3, time. Each of these we should be doing for about 3 minutes. So let's have a go at the first pose. It's called melting hot. So with melting hot, easy way is just to come up onto all 4s, making sure your legs are at 90 degrees, and one arm after one arm after one arm after one arm. Come down and then rest your head on your mat, and then start to take your time for about 3 minutes. So let's have a look where we are now. Okay, while you're in the pose, I use a mat to put my head on simply because of the comfort. So it's nice and comfortable here, and I'm finding that stretch along the shoulder blades, along the upper back, and it's pushing out again, so I can really feel that stretch. If you're finding one side is more trouble than the other, then maybe bring it back slightly so you're not really hurting. You should never ever have pain. Discomfort, yes. Pain, no. And then when you're in the pose, nice gentle breathing, nice and deep in through your nose and out through your mouth. Should it be that you want to make that pose just that little bit harder on your shoulders to lift them even further up, find a big cushion or a bolster and then use that bolster. Again, you're lifting your arms and your shoulders slightly further up, and come down slowly and gently. And again, I can feel this much more in my left shoulder than my right shoulder, so I feel which part of my anatomy I need to work on. Nice breaths, deep in through your nose and out through your mouth. When you feel ready, just lift your arms off the mat, off the block. Lift up into what's called tabletop position, like this. So square on your hips. And then just as a counter pose, maybe just rock forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards. Something else you can add to this pose is one of my absolute favorites. And you just come down, bring your arm back up again, bring your knee up like this, and just relax. So again, we're just stressing very gently this shoulder blade, and this pose is called flapping fish. Really pleasant to do on either side of your body. When you're ready, come up. The next pose is called open wing, where we're going to open the pectoral muscles and push the arm back and relieve the pressure on the back of the shoulder here. And the way to do that, and I'll do it with this arm first, is come down, look left, stretch my right arm right out, bring up my left knee, and use this left arm to push. And as I push, I'm putting pressure on this shoulder, so I can regulate how much pressure is on the shoulder. And again, we're going to do this for 2 or 3 minutes each side. So nice deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. If you want a little bit more pressure here, then you can bring your left arm around to pressure more on this joint here, or even bring your left leg up and then the left arm around. And then you're putting that little bit more pressure on the right shoulder blade to really open out your pecs, your pectoral muscles here in the chest, and push that muscle back, those tendons, ligaments, fascia, back to where they should be. And when you're ready, just bring your arm back to the floor, bring your knee back to the floor, bring your right arm slowly but surely back under your shoulder blade, and push up into all fours, into tabletop. Tabletop for obvious reason that your back becomes that tabletop. The next pose we're going to do is to thread the needle on the same side. So looking at your fingertips and pieces of grass and blade, look at your fingertips and take your arm up as far as you can. And in my case, that's it actually. I can't go much further than that. And again, looking at my fingertips, bring my arm through so that I rest on my shoulder. And here now I can rest in threading the needle position again for a couple of minutes here. So nice deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And you're putting a counter pressure on the shoulder blade. You're stretching out the muscles at the top of your shoulder, the ligaments at the top of your shoulder. Gently, gently, millimeter for millimeter, you're increasing your range of motion. And again, when you're ready, just come back up into tabletop. Maybe just roll around a bit to loosen the shoulder blades after you've just been working on one side. And roll around the other side. I'll just come around the other side as I'm looking at a camera. So now it's the other side. So come down, look right, out to the left arm, up with the right knee, and push with the right arm until you feel the amount of pressure that is your edge. Like we said before, yin yoga, find your edge, find stillness, and the time, 2 to 3 minutes maybe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And you'll feel the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments in your shoulder stressing that little bit. So bit for bit, millimeter for millimeter, you increase your range of motion. And when you're ready, just drop your knee down. Come with your forehead onto the mat. And push up, back into tabletop. And again, we're going to thread the needle to this side. So, and it's interesting that this side I'm worse than the other side. It's an age thing, of course, but look at your fingers. How far can you stretch them up? And that's it for me. And looking at your fingers, bringing them all the way through. Relax on your head. If you want, make sure your head's on a blanket. And then again, push down and find that edge, that part where it's just too little. Sorry, it's not too little, it's not too much. Nice deep breaths. Because not only are you doing yourself good physically, you're doing yourself good both emotionally and mentally. Releasing the tension, not just in your shoulder, but maybe in your mind. Using deep, controlled, regulated breathing. In through your nose and out through your mouth. To regulate your blood pressure, bring down your heartbeat, and just generally mentally relax. And when you feel you're ready, bring your arm back up again. So we're back into tabletop, and for the final pose, we're going to do child's pose, which is one of my favorites. I do this every single day to make sure that I stretch out the base of my spine. So I tend to keep my knees quite a width apart. You can put them here if you like, but the more you have apart, the more you've got space to come back into. And just simply push back into what's called child's pose. And I use again a blanket that I can rest my head on. And with child's pose, not only am I stretching out the shoulders in this position, the lat muscles here too, but I'm stretching out the vertebrae here in the lower back. I'm stretching out around the gluteus muscles here, stretching out around the knees and around the ankles. If for any reason you think, okay, ouch, I can't really do this because I have pain in my knees, one way around that is to take a blanket, fold it up, and then put that blanket, just wedge it inside the knee crease. And when you do that, when you come back, you have support, which I can feel now for my knees, which means that I can sit like this comfortably for as long as I want, which I never have been able to before. But again, it's simply because I have the support from my knees. So again, enjoy child's pose. Nice deep breathing, stretching out all these muscles here at the top of your shoulders. And when you're ready, come up, back into tabletop. If you've got a blanket behind you, fine, move the blanket. And that should hopefully make you feel so much better in your neck, your shoulders, so that the next time think, why I'm rounding around, okay, why not come back out? So you don't end up looking like this as you're walking when you get to my age. Because hey, it's not really a good look, is it? Hope you enjoyed this 15-minute fix for your shoulders. Office bound people, it's perfect for you. Bye.